What's up YouTube, Jamie the Kid00 here, back with another build of Frog Monarchs. I noticed that my old Frog Monarch build had been getting kind of popular on my channel. It's got like 3,000 views, which is actually quite popular for my deck profiles. So I figured I needed to make some changes because it is a new format. Well, there have been new sets released and I'm playing it a different way now. So I figured I'd actually profile the deck again to you guys, just with the changes, talk about the changes. Because it has changed a bit, and I'm liking this. It's definitely different from what I was playing before, but it plays pretty well. I like the Vanity's Fiend main deck that I used to play, but I don't play that anymore. But you'll see what kind of things are missing and what kind of things I put in instead. Either way, let's get into it. So we're going to start off with the standard Frog engine. Not much has changed from here. Playing double Treeborn Frog. Again, 3 is way too many, and you will draw it dead. 2 is the perfect number. If you draw it, you can ditch it for Swap Frog. Otherwise, you're just going to send it from the deck to the graveyard, and you can send 2. So that one DD Crow is not going to stymie your efforts. Then, continuing with the Frog engine, we have triple Swap Frog. Again, nothing really needs to be said about Swap Frog because it's the main engine. Then one Ronin Toadin. Because I have less focus in this on Lad and more focus on the Monarchs, I feel only one Ronin Toadin is necessary. It does limit my Gachi and Phoenix plays, but I feel that 2 Ronin was a little bit cloggy. I do like the build with 2 Ronin, but I'm currently experimenting with 1. And then I still play the double dupe Frog for consistency, because if you don't get into the Frog engine, you are in a lot of trouble, because you've only got Faders and Tragodias as your Monarch fodder. So that is our Frog engine. The Frog engine is like 8 cards, so 8 cards, and it does so much. On to the actual tribute stuff. We of course play triple of the best Monarch, Caius, in lovely German form. Again, Caius is, in my opinion, the best Monarch simply because it has the remove from play effect targeting anything. So it will literally remove anything from the board, bugger if it has an effect saying, oh, it can't be destroyed by card effects or things like that. And failing Caius, we have triple Riser, essentially the same thing but returning it to the deck. So it gets to spin 1 card, delaying your opponent's draw by a turn, and you can really cause quite a system of control with this card, especially if your opponent's drawing dead anyway. You can just summon this and send like a set monster back to their hand, so it wastes their normal summon and things like that. So those are the actual Monarchs. Then we play 1 Dark Dust Spirit. I'm liking Dark Dust Spirit in a format where swarming is actually becoming key again. So this just tribute setting really stops your opponent going anywhere near your field. And just even dropping it when your opponent has a swarm field but hasn't managed to kill you this turn, like when you've battle faded. Say your opponent goes wind up Magician Shark, make the 8k OTK, swing, you go fader, then next turn tribute, summon this. There goes their OTK. Then I'm still playing the triple Lad. I really like Light and Darkness Dragon. A lot of people say only play 2, but in my opinion it is probably the best card in the deck. It puts such a lockdown on your opponent, cause it on most cases, you will drop this when your opponent only has 1 back row and preferably maybe 1 monster and 2 cards in hand. And this card is essentially it's going to be at least a neg 2 to your opponent. Your opponent's going to have to play at least 2 cards to try and get it smaller. So it's a neg 2 to your opponent, and then they're going to kill it and you're going to get a monster back, which can usually result in you getting a Caius or a Swap Frog or things like that back. So it's definitely a really good card in my opinion. Then as a change, I'm playing the double Tour Guide and Sangan engine. This is to restock the graveyard for Ronin Toadin a little bit by giving me access to Leviair. It's also dark targets for the BLS, which I now main deck. And it also gives me access to Zane mains in the stall. So, and also the Sangan, the ability to search Sangan so you can get into your Frog engine is really good. Again, you're only playing 1 Tour Guide, and 2 Tour Guides, so you will leave 1 in deck. But I feel that the fact that you can get to the Sangan quickly to get your Frog engine live is worth leaving that 1 dead drawer in the deck. Then we're going to move on to the hand traps, which of course there are a lot of in this deck. So we're playing double Veiler. This is one of the few decks where I'd actually play double Veiler because it doesn't play back row. That's essentially it. And against a lot of decks, I would side these out for maxis against wind-ups and things like that. But I like the job they perform, but I wouldn't play them in any deck that plays traps, put it that way. So double Veiler. Then I'm playing 2 Fader. 3 was getting a little bit cloggy, which is kind of funny because it's your alternative to your Frog engine. But 3 was getting kind of cloggy. 2 is the perfect number in my testing, so especially when you're playing Trags and Gores. So nothing much else to say there. Great target for your tribute summons, but again 3 was far too many. Then I play double Tragodia. Again, stops the OTKs. Turn 1, this is insane when you can just pass turn, pretend and try and bluff a bad hand. Then your opponent swings into you and you just drop that. Same applies to Gauze, but Tragodia is bigger and gets into all sorts of shenanigans plays. And Tragodia is also really good when you even have low cards in hand, like just Tragodia and Lad. You can go drop the Trag on their last attack, get Treeborn, make Lad. Crazy stuff like that. I'm testing a Mooling Glacier because of the Frog Engine and the Graveyard Manipulation. It's been live enough. I've only tested Mooling Glacier on Dueling Network, hasn't had enough testing in real life yet, but I'm liking it as a potential card, but it might be a lot more live in Lancer Frog than in this deck. And then finally the last monster I play is BLS because we do play Lights and Darks. So that rounds off the monster lineup. So that's the majority of the main deck. That's like, I think, 30 or 29 cards. Then for the spells, I play a Reborn, a Dark Hole, and a Storm. I still don't like Book in this deck. We play triple MST because you don't want your opponent really stopping your plays, and Bottomless Trap Hole is a bitch against this deck. Same with Deep Prison. So you don't want removal happening. And in the side decking aspect, when your opponent flips that Macrocosmos or that Defissure, you are in a spot of bother, so you want to have an out to it. I side Dust Tornadoes, Twisters and Dust Tornadoes, so I do have a way around it. Then the best spell card in the deck, bar none, triple enemy controller. It is insane with Treeborn Frog. Setting up your Light and Darkness Dragon plays forever. Stealing your opponent's monsters, making a swing, trying to bait out their back row, and then if they do back row the monster, you can just tribute your Treeborn off for a Monarch anyway. Or later on, if it comes to the main phase 2 and they still haven't killed their own monster, you can tribute the 2 off for a Lad, or tribute the monster off for a Caius. So it's still incredible. And then I play Double Soul Exchange. This is really good for making dead cards in your hand live, or if you've only got Treeborn, the Treeborn engine going, and you don't have the Ronin engine going, and you draw into your Light and Darkness Dragon, you can literally just Soul Exchange your opponent's monster, use the Treeborn, and you've got a Lad. So it's a good start. I really like it. But again, I wouldn't play 3 because it is essentially a neg 1, but I suppose it's a 1-for-1 if you have the Monarch, but I'm not the biggest fan of it. But it gets around really troublesome monsters that you just can't destroy. That is the entire main deck. The extra deck is really subject to change. There should be a Shooting Star in here, but I couldn't really find the room. There's stuff I need to cut. This isn't a very good extra deck, but it's the extra deck I'm running with at the moment. So, for the 2s, only play the Formula Synchron, because you can make this off of Veiler and Treeborn, so +1s. I play 1 Catastor, because it's a 5, Orange Dragon for a 6, Black Rose for a 7, Stardust and Scrap Dragon for 8s, and Miss 1 for 9. I play at least one of the common levels, simply because of the enemy controller play. For when you're stealing your opponent's monster, you can easily just drop a Veiler. Or if you're stealing a Tuner, sync the Tuner with like a Monarch that you tribute summon to make a Synchro monster. And in most cases, Synchro plays will be a pretty good choice. So Mistwhelm works with like the Treeborn that you'll have on board, a level 2 Tuner that you steal from your opponent, and a level 6 Monarch. So that is the Synchros. And then Xyz-wise, I play 1 Phoenix and 2 Gachi. Because I'm not playing the 2 Ronins, I feel that 3 Gachi is too many. So, I mean, I rarely make 2 Gachi as it is, so I might even cut 1. But at the moment, I feel that 2 Gachi is a staple simply for the security aspect and the fact that it makes your Monarchs 2800 when it comes out. So, and Phoenix is really good for just dealing that 3k punch, or 4-8 if you've got a Riser on board. So, definitely good. And then for the 3s, I play a Zen Mains and a Levier, for reasons I explained earlier on in the video. For 4s, I play 1 Utopia. And then for 6s, I play Exobeetle and Strike Bouncer, which should really go without saying. So that rounds off this deck profile of Frog Monarchs. There's been a bit of a change to it, of course, so let me know what you think. I'm definitely liking this change. It's something different, something fun to test. So again, if you have any changes you would make, feel free to let me know. If you've liked this video, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, because I haven't actually been saying that in my videos for like years. And that was a sneeze in the background. And otherwise, this has been Jamie the Kid 00 with a Frog Monarch deck profile. I'll see you again soon with some more content. Bye.